All right, good morning. Welcome to day 196. So my friend Dennis, who I know from the military, he and I deployed to Afghanistan together back years ago. Spent the night at his house, had a really great dinner, went out to a brewery and had hamburgers and whatnot. He took me to Ingalls, I resupplied. I left 3 days with him and brought 3 days with me. So he's gonna meet me again in Newfound Gap about halfway through Smoky Mountain National Park. Just dropped me off here at the Pigeon River. I'm climbing up towards Davenport Gap and then I'll enter the park. So 70 miles of Smoky Mountain National Park. Here we go, Recon hikes. That was the Davenport Gap and the entrance to Smoky Mountain National Park. So it's gravel road from this point, and then up here is going to be the entrance to the national park, and I'll have to put my thru hiker permit into their box. I remember coming through here on a section hike several years ago and getting to Davenport Gap and just seeing this gravel road and being like, huh, I expected more, but that's what it is. I thought it'd be something fancy like Newfound Gap, but it's just this. All right, I'm going to continue on. All right, so I have put the bottom half of my permit, my thru hiker permit, into the box. So if you're not aware, you have to get a thru hiker permit. It costs $40. You can get it online. And when Journeyman and Mickey took me back to their house, I was able to print my permit off before they took me back to Hot Springs. So anyway, I tore the bottom half off and put it in there. I got to carry the top half with me through the park, and I think put it in the box at the other end. So about 72 miles from here. The rules of the permits are that if you have to stay in shelters, you cannot be outside the shelter unless the shelter is full. So if a person with a reservation, a section hiker with a reservation for that shelter shows up, you need to get out of the shelter and give them the space, and then you can camp. So anyway, that's what it is. I'm getting ready to head in. Whew, wow. I've still got, I don't know how far to climb. I'm up to 3,900 feet, I think. And I've probably climbed over 2,000 feet for sure. And I'm getting all the good stuff now. It's not so hot anymore, but it's very humid and there's no breeze and I'm sweating like a pig and the bugs are back. So that's the good news. The eyeball bugs are diving into my face at regular intervals. So anyway, I'm gonna continue climbing and get up there. Once I get on the ridge, then it's just a lot of ridge walking, but getting up there from the river, that's quite a chore. We're still climbing, coming up on a view, it looks like. I don't know. You gotta climb up these boulders to get a view. I'm not really down for that, but it looks nice. Got a decent view. I'm not sure how much more I want to scramble up there though. So I made it to the cutoff trail for Mount Camerer, and I believe that it's 0.6 miles. And I think there's a fire tower there. So Dennis, who I stayed with last night and lives in this area, told me that I absolutely have to go up to see the fire tower. I'm skeptical. I mean, I literally climbed 3,500 feet up from the Pigeon River to this point without a break. I mean, pretty much the whole thing was ascent. I'm not sure I'm down for a 1.2 mile round trip. I don't really care. I mean, how good the thing is. I'm gonna have to pass, I think. Sorry, Dennis. Well, this is quite nice. So after the 3,500 and some odd foot climb up, I'm in a relatively level spot here. It's kind of hazy. Not getting great views, but it's cooled off a little bit and the trail is slightly downwards. It's quite a nice change. So enjoying this a little bit. I've got 1.5 miles to go to get to the Cosme Knob shelter. And then we'll see. I think I might have mentioned that section hikers and whatnot have to make a reservation for each individual shelter, and that's where they're supposed to stay. Thru hikers don't have to do that, But when we get to a shelter, if it's full and we're in the shelter, and somebody with a reservation shows up, they can kick us out of the shelter. And then we have to sleep in our tent, which I would prefer anyway, but that's not allowed to be the default. I have to start out trying to get into the shelter and then hopefully get kicked out so I can be in my tent. So I don't know if you can hear this, if the microphone will pick it up, but there is like a million bees in here, these little white flowers. And they are just having the time of their lives. Just going to town in here. All right, I am heading down the side trail to the Cosby Knob shelter. It was only about 10 miles to get up here, but that included a extremely long climb, which I documented previously. So this will probably end day 196, unless something exciting happens. I'll pick up with y'all in the morning. Right now, it's just gonna be going down here to the shelter, getting water, getting cleaned up, making some dinner, and going to bed. So please remember our Gold Star families, and for now, Recon out. Good morning, and welcome to day 197. Spent the night at the Cosby Knob shelter. My first night in Great Smoky Mountain National Park. Today looks like it's going to be a great day. Maybe a little warm later on, but no rain. Starting tomorrow, looks like it's going to rain for like the next 5 days. So that's not great, but it is what it is. So I'm going to get moving here. My goal today is the Peck's Corner, I think it's called. Peck's Corner shelter. It's about 13 miles. And then tomorrow I'll get into Newfound Gap, where my friend Dennis will pick me up again, and I'll pick up the rest of my resupply. So anyway, back on trail, Simplify, and Recon out. Well, that was fun. I just met up with an old friend. So Lightning was a southbound thru hiker, and myself and All Day met her in Connecticut. We stayed in the same house in Salisbury, Connecticut, months ago, probably, oh gosh, maybe September. And so she was doing 20-mile days, and she quickly got ahead of us. Well, I just ran into her going the opposite direction. So she got into Harper's Ferry and completed her hike and got off trail before the storm hit. And now she's just kind of going north as far as she wants to go, just for fun. And so I just ran into her on this random trail in the middle of nowhere. Super cool to see her and catch up. I got a photo with her, and I'll send that on to All Day because he'll be happy to see that as well. And told her happy trails, and we are continuing in opposite directions. It's a lot of fun to run into people that you know out here totally randomly. It's a pretty big blowdown right there on the trail. I'm surprised that the park has not come out here and cleared this yet. I've seen more blowdowns on the trail than any place else so far here in the national park. It's one of the few times on this ridge that I've actually broken out and had any kind of a view. That looks pretty nice. Haven't seen many views today. It's mostly been a ridge walk with trees on both sides, but a little break in the trees here. That's not a bad view. It's supposed to start raining at some point. The sky's looking a little ominous here. Well, welcome to a very wet day 198. Stayed last night at Peck's Corner Shelter and stayed dry, but it stormed this morning at about 4:30. Excuse me. About 4:30, thunder, lightning, torrential downpours. Still raining a little bit now, but I'm moving out, heading to Newfound Gap where my friend is supposed to pick me up and bring my resupply. So I hope he makes it. I hope the road's not closed because I'll be out of food otherwise. So I might not video very much today just because of the weather, but I'll keep up with you later. Semper Fi. Trying to keep my phone put away so it doesn't get wet. It's water resistant apparently, but when it gets wet it starts glitching out on me. But I did have to get this. This is just really beautiful. It stopped raining for the moment, and you can see the low-hanging clouds just on the mountains there. That's really gorgeous. And then another thing I thought was interesting was this. You can't really tell, I don't think, from the video. That's a pretty steep drop off. I was thinking if you slipped off the trail here, you would be all the way down the trees down there before you stopped. That would not be good. Anyway, continuing to march. Yeah, this is a sign for Charlie's Bunyan, which is kind of a famous outcropping with good views, but you can see right now there's not going to be any views at all. And it's starting to rain again, so I will probably pass on Charlie's Bunyan today. All right, day 199. I spent the night at my friend Dennis's house. He's brought me back to Newfound Gap here, and I've got about 12 miles to go to the Saddler's Bald shelter. I'm going to hit 2,000 miles today. I will try to remember to stop and get some video. So I forgot to mention, I think, that Austin and Remington are coming to join me. So they're the two recent college graduates that I hiked with last June and July. And they completed the trail, I believe, in December after having to road walk through some sections. So they were parking their vehicle down at Fontana Dam, south of here, and they're getting a shuttle up to Newfound Gap. They're going to catch up to me either on the trail or at the shelter. Super cool. They wanted to hike with me for a couple days, and they wanted to be with me when I hit 2,000 miles. So I think that's amazing, and I'm looking forward to seeing those guys. Very peaceful, quiet forest right now. It's not raining. It did get overcast, so I expect it could rain at any time. I think these are hemlocks. And it's just a different kind of place than a lot of what I've been hiking on the last couple months. It's been very dark and, you know, more foresty, I would say. All right, this is the walkway up to the top of Kuahi, which used to be called Cleveland Dome. It is the highest point on the entire Appalachian Trail. So there's no fog. So I'm gonna walk up here, we might get a view. We'll see. Okay, not bad. Some decent views up here. Not terrible. You can see the fog is rolling in over here. So not gonna be any views there. So anyway, that's not bad. I'm gonna go ahead and head down. Left my backpack down there. So I'm gonna scoot on back down and keep hiking to the shelter. All right, here I am. It's been iffy weather all day, bright sunshine, and then all of a sudden a thunderstorm and a tremendous downpour. It's bright and sunny again, but there's rain clouds over there and I'm hearing thunder. But the most important thing is that at the spot I'm standing, I'm at 2,000 miles. This is it. I am below 200 miles to finish this thing, and I'm standing right at 2,000.0 miles from my starting point. So, yay, I'm pretty excited about that. I got about another 1.6 to get to the shelter and get cleaned up and get dried off. Good morning and welcome to day 200. That is Saddler's Bald shelter behind me. I'm leaving that right now. It's 7:40 in the morning. It is pretty cold and the wind is blowing across the ridge here. So Austin and Remington, who joined me last night, they're gonna hike with me until tomorrow afternoon. They're still sleeping. They're 22 years old and remind me of my son who sleeps until noon if he has a chance. They will catch me. They're very fast. So they'll catch me before lunchtime, I'm sure. Yesterday, I passed the 2,000 mile marker and I have less than 200 miles to go. So, you know, somewhere around 14, 15 days maybe. And that'll be it. Rained hard off and on yesterday. It's cold, windy, and overcast today. I'm sure there's more rain in my future here. So I've got 18 miles to go today. It's gonna be a long day, but we have to go to the Molly's Ridge shelter in order to get us far enough to get into Fontana Dam early tomorrow. So I'm gonna shut up and put the phone away and start walking. I think we got ourselves a wild turkey down there. Making all kinds of turkey noises. Alrighty, I came from that direction. I'm about 12 miles into the 18-mile day. It's been ridiculously steep. And we come out on this gorgeous scenery, beautiful view. There's Austin, otherwise known as the Principal. And there is Remington, trail named Jester. And they're ahead of me. And some pretty black clouds. And I'm standing at the very highest point. So I might want to go down. Yeah, we just heard thunder right now.
Should be fine.
Anyway. Some pretty black clouds overhead. I heard some thunder. I would like to get to a lower elevation and off this open mountaintop before the storm comes. All right, it is lightly raining. Not even enough to put a rain jacket on right now. I would just overheat. It's about 5:20 p.m. and I've got about 4 miles more to go to get to the Molly's Ridge shelter. It'll be an 18-mile day. I did not want to do 18 miles today, but Austin and Remington want to leave as early as possible tomorrow. So we need to be as close to Fontana Dam as we can get. So anyway, they're ahead of me now. They're going to try to save me a spot in the shelter because it'll probably be pretty full. And I'm just moving on. It's going to be another couple hours. It's going to be probably close to dark when I get there. Okay, I'm only half a mile from the shelter. So it's been an 18-mile day. Lots of steep climbs. I am pretty exhausted. Of course, it's raining because why wouldn't it be? And it started about an hour ago, so it couldn't let me get to the shelter without soaking me. So anyway, it's raining, I'm wet, I'm exhausted, and the bonus is I've heard the shelter is completely full. So I have no idea if I even have a place to sleep tonight. So anyway, I'm gonna sign off tonight. For now, I've got less than half a mile, and I will be back up with you tomorrow. All right, I want to tell everybody good night. I got here to the Molly Ridge shelter, and the shelter was packed. I mean, I'm right in the middle of the northbound bubble, and so there are so many people. And the shelter was totally packed. No room for me in there. It was pouring rain. I was soaked head to toe. And so I was able to get my tent set up, and I love the tent because I got it set up, and the way it's designed, not a drop of water got inside. So I cooked breakfast, I cooked dinner over at the shelter out of the wind, and then I came and got in the tent here. So I got in, I took all my rain gear off, put it out in the vestibule, put my wet clothes away, got some dry clothes on, and then I inflated my air mattress and got my very toasty, warm goose down quilt out, and so now I'm ready for bed. The rain seems to have stopped. It's still pretty windy out there. It's still pretty chilly, but I expect to have a nice warm night, and I will get up with you in the morning. And good morning. Welcome to, I think, day 201, and it is miserable. So it rained all night. It's still cold. The wind keeps gusting, and yeah, it's miserable. So I'm all packed up inside the tent. I'm gonna have to go out there and get the tent packed up, and then see about some breakfast. I gotta get my food bag down, and then maybe make some breakfast. I don't know. I just need to get out of here. I mean, everything's soaked. It's just ridiculous. My sister's meeting me down at Fontana Dam later today, and I'm gonna go back to her house, and I'm gonna take a 0 day tomorrow. So that'll be nice. It'll give me a chance to dry out, and I'm gonna see what the weather does. I'm not coming back out until this gets better. This is absolutely ridiculous, and it's dangerous. It's just the perfect kind of weather to get hypothermia in. So I'm gonna put the phone away. I probably won't video much just because it's gonna be so wet. So I'll catch up with y'all later. All right, it finally stopped raining and I got packed up, had some breakfast. Very foggy. You can see forest behind me. It's very wet. Water's still dripping from the trees. It's not raining at the moment. So 12 or 13 miles to the Fontana Dam Visitor Center. And then my sister will pick me up and I'll take a 0 day tomorrow at her house. And then probably get back on trail the next day. Remington and Austin are behind me. They'll be passing me at some point. And it was super cool to see them. Remington, who's 22 years old, told me that I'm the oldest friend that he has. Yeah, I believe that to be probably it's totally true. So, but I really appreciate them and I value the relationship that I have with them. They're just two great young men and I really enjoy them. So, and it was super cool of them to drive down here just to spend a couple days in the rain with me. So, for now, Simplify and Recon out. All right, so I continue my descent towards Fontana Dam. I've got roughly 4 miles until I cross the dam, or until I get to the other side of the dam. And this nice little area here that I'm getting a view from, so I thought I'd grab it. It's very pretty. It's crazy, it's not raining now. And I'm talking to northbounders that are climbing up, and they got almost no rain last night. So we had like a torrential downpour, and they had very little, which is interesting. The weather is so local up here in the mountains. An hour and a half to go, less than that probably, and it's raining again. Of course it is. All right, I just exited Great Smoky Mountain National Park. It's still raining, not quite as bad, but it's still raining. And ironically, the permit box that you have to stuff your permit into when you leave the park is so full of permits, I couldn't hardly get mine in there. So I'm not sure what that's all about. Looks like we got a road walk here for a ways, and then I crossed the dam. So when I get to Fontana Dam, I'll get a little video there. Here we are, everybody. The world famous Fontana Dam. And I'm gonna walk right across it. As an aside, I had my thru hiker permit and I stuffed the second half of it into the box when I left the park, and that box was so full I couldn't barely get my permit in there, which tells me they're not super concerned about that kind of thing. And I only saw one person on the entire hike in 73 miles that appeared to work for the service. That was a ridge runner a couple days ago. Otherwise, never saw a ranger or anybody else. So I guess backcountry backpackers don't get a lot of attention. But there's the road across the dam. There's some low clouds, very pretty. It stopped raining for the moment, but I'm gonna leave my rain jacket on because they can't fool me. And look at this, this is pretty. This is the backside of the dam. And so, apparently they're generating hydroelectric power right there. Kind of cool. And that's the river afterwards. I'm not sure what river that is, honestly.